opinions about the Jonah Hill thing. So Jonah Hill was dating this young lady. She's a pro surfer, worth mentioning. Her job is to surf.
So, I mean, she's in a lot of bikinis, and she posts pictures on Instagram of her on the beach and with bathing suit and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Why isn't this loading up? All right, here we go. So these are the text messages that were leaked by Jonah Hill's now current ex-girlfriend. Like, this is a warning to all girls. If your partner likes talking to you like this, make an exit plan. Love y'all. Call me if you need anything. Call me if you need an ear. And then it's a picture. It's him responding to a picture of her surfing. And he writes, respect however you want to live your life. You only get one. Sort of done with explaining myself. Like, I removed, not the video yet. It is my best surfing video. Would you feel better if the cover frame was something different? Any more specific ones that bother you? He's like, yes, one that isn't of your ass in a thong.
What does it say at the bottom? Not a what?
Not a thong.
But okay.
Not a thong, but okay.
I need to go see this.
Then it proceeds. Plain and simple, and this is his list of demands. This is really the message that has gone viral. Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, then I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways that these actions have hurt our trust.
Wow. The first thing I got to say is that I just noticed that the date on these text messages are from 2021. What a petty bitch. You're bringing up, what a petty bitch. You are so fucking petty. Like, how dare, like 2 years ago, literally 2 years ago. I did not notice that. I thought it was from last year. This is just
so basically bizarre. She just released this because they broke up.
Worth mentioning that Jonah Hill's current girlfriend, forgive me if she's the wife, I don't know that, is actually pregnant. So she decided to be so petty and launched this scandal in text messages as his baby. Oh, he just had the baby. Okay. So he just had a baby. I'm sorry. Worth mentioning that this person is such a piece of crap that she wants to ruin his current joyful moment with his partner and child. Let me just say something. If you decided to get, because this is a liberal woman, by the way, and I'm pretty sure Jonah Hill is as well. If you engage in a relationship with a woman whose Instagram and or job is to be a model, or in this case, a surfer, which means that you are in a bathing suit and you have already seen this person's social media of what they post, because I am 100% sure that he saw her content before he even approached her.
Yes.
I'm 100% sure. So the first thing is that you're choosing, and by the looks of it, he chose the wrong type of women. A lot of men talk about women need accountability and how they choose the wrong partners. And that's why they end up being single moms. Well, what do you have to say about this? That's where I'm going, because I'm not mad at what he said. I'm not mad at his boundaries.
I'm not mad
at his what he wrote, or saying that he's an asshole or he's misogynistic or narcissistic or whatever she called him. But you cannot get mad if you got into a relationship with someone like that. It's just like what Kanye West did to Kim Kardashian when he had his Christian conversion or whatever it was, where he was obsessed with Kim's body. He loved Kim Kardashian after the sex tape, when she saw a sex symbol, when she was at her highest status as a sex symbol. She did Playboy. She did all these things. Kanye West knew that from day one. He knew that she was out there in a bikini, in a thong, whatever it was, showing off her body. And that's what she was known for, because she has no talent. Now, 10 years into your relationship or 5 years into your relationship, you want Kim Kardashian, whose job is to do that, to be hot, to entertain, to sell her skims, to start covering up, I find that problematic because you knew who she was before you married her, right? So it's very different if you meet this person and they're not doing any of this, and all of a sudden they want to start showing off their ass, and they want to
Yeah.
start showing cleavage, and they want to start showing stuff. Everything he said right now, which we talked about on the phone, this is a respectful man.
This is a
This
respectful
is a man that's respectful. This is a man that has manners. He's not calling her name. He's not calling her a whore or whatever it is. And these are very basic stuff that any boyfriend would want. Would you really want your girlfriend or potential
think
wife to go
that-
surf with a bunch of dudes? I sure as hell wouldn't.
I think that this is a mistake that men and women both make alike, right? I think
Yeah.
I've told you about my theory of dating, about the list,
Yeah.
about my strategy, where it's like when you're out there, you really got to think of all of the qualities that you would want a partner to have of you. And then you need to look at that list,
Right.
and you really need to narrow down that list to the top 5 things. It's not that the other things are not important, but you need to narrow down that list to the top 5. And when you narrow down those top 5 most important things to you about the person that you want to date, it is your responsibility to find that. It is not the other person's responsibility to change into that for you. All the other things is compromise. All the other things you can work on. But those 5 things are your responsibility to look for in a partner. Failing to do that part yourself does not put the blame on the other person. This woman wanted to be with him, but this is her career where he met her at. So the only problem that I have, his request, what was our first reaction that we had as soon as we read them?
That he was
Reasonable.
such a reasonable, respectful
Every
man.
single request that
Yeah.
he is making is reasonable until you realize that her job is to be a pro surfer, and that it's not reasonable to ask a pro surfer not to be in a bikini,
Right.
and not to promote her work while she's in a bikini, because she's not going to wear a burqa to the beach, because that's not where it
Right.
is that she's at. So my problem is more so, I think I don't even have a problem. I think that this is a perfect example of 2 people that are not compatible,
Right. That's really what it comes down
not recognizing that they're not compatible. And this is an argument that we've made for the manosphere before. The manosphere doesn't take into account that preferences are irrelevant compared to compatibility.
Yeah.
You could be in Andrew Tate, or what's the name of the one that we had as a guest on our show, or Sterling Cooper, Jay Waller. You can be one of those people, and you want to be in Dubai, and you want to be in the south of France, and you want to, be with your bulls, and you want to do the man thing and fuck holes and do the whole 9. And you could prefer a 22-year-old hot virgin, modest, from a good family. You could prefer that, and that does not mean that that woman's life is compatible to yours.
Yeah.
So I think that now that I see the date, she is petty. So fuck
She's
her
so
for
petty.
this.
Fuck
She's
that.
so petty.
She's horrible.
But when I really look
person.
at it, this is a lack. I'm glad that he got out of the relationship, because this is incredibly petty. But what I do see here is a lack of compatibility. And that doesn't make one person bad or another. Trying to fit a square peg into a round hole that doesn't fit is going to be a toxic situation for either person involved.
Yeah.
His boundaries are completely reasonable. I'm glad that he met a woman that does. And she's a petty bitch for this.
I want to say something to the women listening here. This is very important. Very, very important. Everything that he said was reasonable, but there's something that sticks out, and this is what it says. Friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past, which that's a keyword. Recent past. So he knows something about her past that he
that
didn't
have
like.
already hurt our
That have already-
relationship
right.
at the end,
So-
have hurt our trust. So this means that she's already done some shady shit to him.
So, but the women part is this. There's a lot of times, especially when you're younger, right? And if you're in a big city, some of you may be in the country, things are different. If you get into a relationship and you have girlfriends who are single, I'm not saying they're bad people, but there are women out there who are not going to be good around you in that relationship, and you have to prioritize your relationship, and of course if that's what you want to do. But you can't continue to go out with the girls and party and this and that, because you are now in a relationship with somebody else. And that it's worth mentioning, because when you are in your younger years, you make dumb mistakes and you don't take into consideration these types of problems, especially when it comes to your friends. You are who you surround yourself with. So if you are surrounding yourself with hoes and women that are sleeping around or are bad or are problematic or dramatic or
not.
drug addicts or whatever it is, or they're envious or they're
Mhm.
telling you you shouldn't be in a relationship, Jonah's not
Let's
a
be
good guy,
single.
you
Let's
could
go
do better,
out.
you could
Right.
do better. You don't want to be around those women. They're going to hurt not just your relationship, because maybe this is not the man for you. Who cares?
And it doesn't, and you know what it is, that's actually something that younger women will make a big mistake of, and they'll be like,
Yes.
my girls come first, my girls come first, my girls. No, they
No,
don't.
they don't.
No, they don't. Your priority
don't.
is to build a family, to find a good man so
Right.
that you can build a family with. And your girls do not have to be homies, friends, like your boyfriend, your husband, or whatever it is. Relationships are for grown-ups. And therefore, when you're in a relationship, you have to act like a grown-up. And part of that is understanding that being in a respectful relationship means that you don't need to be out in the clubs. It doesn't matter how young you are. You don't need to be out in the clubs every weekend. You don't need to be out on girls' nights, on girls' trips every other month. You don't need to be doing that. And if you choose to do that, then you're not going to be in a relationship. That's where it comes in. You can't have it.
Misery loves company. That's exactly what somebody
Amen.
said.
It sure does. And a lot of these hateful ass women, my advice also to the young women that listen to our show, because we're going to start becoming, we want to be a beacon for young women to stand up for themselves. But more advice to young women in their 20s. I know it feels like your girlfriends and your girls, and there's going to be some of those girls that are going to be your friends 10, 15, 20 years from now. But there's going to be a lot of those girls that you're going to look back 10, 15 years and you're going to be like, I cannot believe I had that snake around me for as long as I did. So the best thing that you can do to protect yourself, your relationships in your future, is to keep your man and his needs above that of your relationship with your girlfriends. Because a real girlfriend is going to be there for you, whether you haven't talked to her in a year or 6 months.
Yeah. And it's going to give you good advice. Like, they're not going to give you bad advice. We're coming to an end of our show, but if you watched my story, I had a very controversial take this week. And I wasn't trying to put down Andrew Tate. As you guys know, if you've heard the